All right, you guys, we're going to review the ticket out the door from yesterday. So go ahead and write this problem down. First, we have find the value of the variable and yz if y is between x and z, knowing that xy equals 7a, yz equals 5a, and xz equals 6a plus 24. I cannot stress enough how important it is to fully read the question, and with geometry you always want to label your figure. So it wants us to find the value of the variable and yz, so that means we're going to have two answers. They're letting us know that y is between x and z. So that means we have a line segment. Y is somewhere in the middle. It doesn't matter where you put it, it's just somewhere in the middle of x and z. Then you want to go ahead and label the information they give you. xy equals 7a. So from x to y, it's 7a. yz, so from y to z, is 5a. And xz is 6a plus 24. That means the length of the whole segment is 6a plus 24. We know that if we break this up into two parts, this part added to this part has to equal the whole line. So we can say that xy, so the segment here, plus yz equals the length of the whole line. So again, all I'm doing is breaking it up. This part plus this part equals the whole length. From there, we're going to substitute our values in. So we know that xy equals 7a. Here's xy, here's xy, it equals 7a. So I'm going to replace xy with 7a plus yz. Yz is this segment here. Yz is 5a. So I'm going to replace yz with 5a equals xz. Xz is the length of the whole line. So the length of the whole line is 6a plus 24. Once you set it up, now you're just solving. So I want to isolate my variable. I want to get it on both sides. So we draw a line down from the equal sign. We want our variable on one side of the line. Think of this as a wall. And we want our answer on the other side. So before we start, we see that we have like terms on the same side. Both of these have a's. So we can go ahead and just combine them together. 7a plus 5a is 12a. Everything else comes down since we haven't done anything with it. Our variable is still not by itself. We have 6a over here, 12a over here, and 24 over here. So I want to get, again, my variable on one side of this line. So since it's almost by itself over here, I'm going to bring this 6a over. We do the opposite. Since it's a positive 6a, the opposite of positive is negative. So I'm going to subtract 6a. I can't subtract 6a from here because this number doesn't have an a. And I can only do it once per side of the line. So I've already done it once here. I have to do it once on this side. So I'm going to subtract 6a from this side. So we have 12a minus 6a. which is 6a. Don't forget to bring down your variable. 6a minus 6a is 0, and then bring down your 24. When we have a number next to a variable, that means multiplication. The opposite of multiplying is dividing, so I'm going to divide both sides by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1, so we're left with a over here. 24 divided by 6 is 4. So we found our answer to the variable, but remember they also want us to find yz. Yz is 5a, so yz equals 5a. We're going to substitute 4 in for a. So we have 5 times 4. So yz equals 20. And we're done. One more problem. So we have same type of question. Find the value of the variable and yz if y is between x and z. They let us know that xy equals 11d, yz equals 9d minus 2, and xz equals 5d plus 28. So again, read the question, understand what's going on. This is geometry. Geometry is shapes and figures. So you want to make sure you represent the problem with that. So they want us to find the value of the variable and yz. So again, we need two answers. They tell us yz is between x and z. So if we have our line segment again, y is between. Between means somewhere in between, somewhere in the middle. It doesn't matter where you draw it. So we're going to put y here, and x is here, z is here. Now let's label it with the information provided. They tell us xy is 11d. So from x to y, it's 11d. yz is 9d minus 2. So from y to z, it is 9d minus 2. Lastly, xz is 5d plus 28. So from x all the way to z is 5d plus 28. We're going to use the information that we know, that this segment plus this segment equals the whole segment. So xy plus yz equals the whole line. Now we can substitute in the information we know. We know yz, here's yz, equals 11d. So I'm going to replace yz with 11d. I mean, xy, sorry guys, xy. We know yz is 9d minus 2. So I'm going to replace yz with 9d minus 2. And then xz is 5d plus 28. Once you have all your parts substituted in, we solve the equation. So we're going to draw a line down from the equal sign. We want the variable on one side of the line, our answer on the other. So the first thing we can do, if we look at this side of our line, we have like terms. We have 11D and 9D. So we first just want to combine those. So 11D plus 9D is 20D. Everything else comes down. So we're going to bring down the -2. We didn't do anything with this side, so it all comes down. Now we want to isolate our variable. So we have our variable on both sides. It's best to always start with the smallest number. So between 20D and 5D, 5D is the smallest. So since 5D is positive, we're going to subtract 5D from both sides. Again, I can't put 5D here because 28 does not have a variable. I can't put 5D here because -2 doesn't have a variable, but I can put it under 20D since they are alike. So I'm going to subtract 5D from 20D. 20D minus 5D is 15D. Everything else comes down. -5 minus 5D is 0. The 28 comes down. Our D is still not by itself. We have a -2 with it. So we need to bring it to the other side of the line. Since it's a -2, we do the opposite and we add 2 to both sides. I can't add 2 to the 15D because this has a variable, the 2 does not. The 15D comes down. -2 plus 2 is 0. 28 plus 2 is 30. Again, when a number is next to a variable, this means multiplication. The opposite of multiplying is dividing. 15D minus, or 15D divided by 15 is 1, so we're left with D over here. 30 divided by 15 is 2. So we found our variable, but they also want us to find what YZ is. YZ, again, is 9D minus 2. We're going to substitute 2 in for D. So we have 9. Instead of writing D, I'm going to write 2 minus 2. 9 times 2 is 18 minus 2. 18 minus 2 is 16. So YZ equals 16. And then we're done.